Right now, while you are reading this, something is happening in your yard every single morning that you have almost certainly never seen. Not because it is hidden, not because it happens too fast, because it happens in the 20 minutes before your alarm goes off, in the dark, before there is enough light to see anything at all. And by the time you open your back door with your coffee, it is already over. The birds in your yard have already done the most extraordinary thing they do all day, and you slept through it. This is not the bird song you hear when you wake up. That is the tail end. What I am talking about starts earlier, in complete darkness, in silence that breaks so precisely that ornithologists can set a clock to it. It snorts. Starts with a single bird, always the same species, always in the same order. And the reason that first bird opens its beak before any light exists in the sky has nothing to do with the sun, and everything to do with something happening inside its book that scientists have only recently begun to understand. Welcome back to Backyard Bird Mind. Today we are going to walk through exactly what happens in your yard in the 20 minutes before sunrise, minute by minute. You will learn which bird always sings first and why. What is physically happening in the atmosphere at that moment that makes sound travel 20 times farther than it will at noon? Why your birds are singing up to 10 times louder at dawn than at any other point in the day? What each species in that chorus is actually communicating and to whom? And what the full dawn chorus sounds like from the perspective of a bird hearing it for the first time. Stay until the very end, because the last thing we cover changes the way you will experience every single morning for the rest of your life. Point 1. The bird that always goes first. In your yard every morning, the dawn chorus begins with the same species. Not the loudest bird, not the most common bird, the robin. And if you live where robins are present, you can verify this yourself by standing outside in the dark tomorrow morning. The robin begins singing before any other bird, sometimes as much as 45 minutes before sunrise, when the sky is still completely black and the temperature is at its coldest point of the night. He does not wait for light. He does not wait for war. Research published in the journal PLOS One has shown that the birds that sing earliest in the dawn chorus are consistently the ones with the largest eyes relative to their body size. Larger eyes capture more of the faint pre-dawn light, meaning these birds can begin to see, and therefore to navigate and communicate, before smaller-eyed species can detect anything at all. The robin's eye-to body ratio is among the highest of any common backyard bird. This means he wakes up into a world of dim visual information that the chickadee beside him literally cannot perceive yet. He sings first because he is the first one who can see, and what he sees in those 45 minutes of darkness is territory. And he is telling every other male robin within earshot exactly where the boundary is. After the robin, the sequence unfolds with a precision that has been documented across decades of research at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Bluebirds follow within minutes, then the American thrush, then the house wren. Each species has its own threshold of light at which it begins to vocalize, and that threshold is determined by eye size, neural wiring, and the specific acoustic niche that species occupies in the chorus. They are not random, they are not competing, they are a system. Point 2, where the sound travels so far. And it travels farther because the atmosphere itself at dawn behaves in a way that does not occur at any other hour. At midday, the sun heats the ground and warm air near the surface rises rapidly. This creates turbulence that scatters and absorbs sound. A bird singing at noon can be heard clearly for perhaps 50 meters. At dawn, the opposite is happening. The ground is at its coldest point. The air just above the ground is colder than the air higher up, a condition called a thermal inversion. Sound waves that move upward hit this warmer air above and bend back down toward the earth rather than dispersing into the atmosphere. This acoustic effect, called ground-level ducting, means that a robin singing in your yard at 5 o'clock in the morning can be heard clearly for up to a kilometer away. The same robin singing at noon might not carry beyond your fence line. Your birds know this, not consciously, but evolution has tuned them to exploit this window. The dawn chorus is not just the moment they choose to sing. It is the moment when singing costs the least energy and produces the maximum reach. Point 3, why they sing 10 times louder. On top of the atmospheric advantage, your birds are also producing more sound at dawn than at any other place in the day. Studies measuring the actual acoustic output of songbirds across the daily cycle have found that dawn singing can be up to 10 times louder in terms of energy output than the same bird's midday singing. The reason is hormonal. In the hour before sunrise, testosterone levels in male songbirds spike to their daily maximum. This hormonal surge triggers the syrinx, the bird's vocal organ, which works differently from the human larynx and is capable of producing two independent sounds simultaneously, to produce longer, more complex, higher amplitude songs than the bird is capable of generating at any other time. The bird physically cannot sing as loudly at noon as he can at 5 in the morning. He is running on a hormonal peak that will begin to fade within an hour of sunrise. This matters for what you hear from your yard. The birds you see at your feeder in the afternoon are quieter, hormonally depleted versions of the birds who were performing at full capacity in the day before you woke up. The dawn chorus is the peak performance of your birds, and it ends before most people open their eyes. Point 4. What they are actually saying. The dawn chorus sounds to most people like beautiful noise. It is not noise. It is structured communication, and each element has a specific function and a specific audience. The robin's pre-dawn song is addressed almost entirely to other robins. It is a territorial broadcast, a continuous acoustic map of the boundaries the singer is prepared to defend. The louder and more complex the song, the stronger the male, and the less likely a rival is to test those boundaries. Research from the University of Sheffield has shown that male robins who sing more complex dawn songs hold their territories for significantly longer across the breeding season and experience fewer intrusions than males with simpler songs. The chickadee's contribution to the chorus serves a different function. Chickadees use the dawn window to maintain contact with their winter flock before the flock disperses for the day. The calls you hear from chickadees in the pre-dawn period are cohesion calls, the acoustic equivalent of attendance, each bird confirming it survived the night and knows where the others are. When you stand in your yard in the dark and hear that familiar chickadee call from a branch above you, you are hearing a bird telling its companions that it made it through another night, that it is present, that it is ready. The song Sparrow's Dawn Song is addressed partly to rival males, but also critically to females. Female song sparrows actively listen to the dawn chorus and use the quality and complexity of a male's dawn performance as the primary indicator of genetic fitness. She is making breeding decisions based on what she hears in the dark. The males who perform best in the dawn chorus father more offspring. The dawn chorus is, among other things, the most important audition of the year. Point 5. The 20 minutes by minute. Here is what is actually happening in your yard right now, this morning in the 20 minutes before sunrise. 45 minutes before sunrise, in complete darkness, the robin opens. His song is long, liquid, continuous. No other bird responds. He's alone in acoustic space, his signal traveling a kilometer in every direction through the cold, still air. 30 minutes before sunrise, the bluebird joins. His song is shorter, lower, less complex. He is not competing with the robin, but occupying a different acoustic register. The two songs do not interfere with each other because evolution has spaced them to avoid overlap. 20 minutes before sunrise, the song sparrow enters, then the house wren, then the titmouse, then the chickadee. In your yard right now, this is happening in exactly this order, and has been happening in exactly this order every morning since before there were fences or houses or streets in your neighborhood. 10 minutes before sunrise, the full chorus has begun. Is the loudest it will be all day, traveling the farthest it will travel all day, carrying the most complex information it will carry all day, and almost no one is awake to hear it. At sunrise, something shifts. Songs begin to shorten. The hormonal peak starts to fade. The chorus is already quieting. The birds begin to move to feeding grounds. The acoustic event of the day is over, and most of the world slept through it. Point 6. What it sounds like from inside the chorus. Here is what we cannot fully explain, and what research is only beginning to describe. The birds in your dawn chorus are not simply broadcasting into empty air, listening to each other with a precision that researchers have begun to call active acoustic monitoring. Each bird tracks the position, identity, and vocal quality of every other singer in the chorus simultaneously producing its own. The auditory cortex of a songbird during the dawn chorus is firing at a rate that has no equivalent in its own daily experience. What this means is that the dawn chorus from inside is not beautiful noise. It is a dense, layered, rapidly updating map of every living thing in your bird's territory. Every singer is both transmitting and receiving. Every call changes what every other bird knows. The 20 minutes before sunrise are the most informationally rich 20 minutes in your bird's entire day. So tomorrow morning, before your alarm, before your coffee, before you open the back door and see the feeders in the early light, set an alarm for 20 minutes earlier than usual. Go outside in the dark, stand on your porch and be quiet. The robin will already be singing. And now you will know what it is saying. You will know why the sound travels so far. You will know who is listening and why it matters. And you will be standing inside something that has been every single morning of your life, and that you were never there to hear. If you have ever heard your yard before the sun came up, tell me which bird you noticed first, and what time of year it was. I read every comment. I will see you in the next one. Backyard Bird